morning everyone. I am starting a vlog. I haven't vlogged in absolutely weeks, so I feel very out of practice, but I said that I would vlog my experience of reading this book, and I'm about to start the book today. The book that I'm going to be reading for the majority of this vlog is Manacled. I'm so nervous. I thought I'd stop and talk to you while I'm surrounded by these geese. But basically I've been putting this book off. I was supposed to start this book in September and it's like over halfway through October and I haven't even started it yet. It's also 1,000 pages long, which feels incredibly intense. So I am committing to starting this book today. I will give you my very first impressions later today. Also, I'm going to a book event tonight, which will be really fun. It's a book launch for a new book, so you can come along with me there and maybe I'll do some shopping as well. There's a few other things I need to get done, but other than that, we're gonna be starting Manacled. I actually read the first chapter or 2 chapters of it a while ago, like maybe a year ago now. So I feel like I'll be able to read that again pretty quickly and then give you first impressions, first thoughts. And then we're gonna dive in to the story as much as I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm excited, I'm nervous. Everyone says I'm gonna be devastated, I'm gonna cry. So I'm quite looking forward to that actually. But I am nervous about how fucking long it is, being 1,000 pages, which seems insane. Honestly, what a beautiful day. I am back from my walk now. What a delightful walk it was. I might do yoga and then I'm going to clean. I need to clean the upstairs and do a bit of a hoover and a cleaning the bathroom a little bit. Can't really be arsed, so I'm just gonna do a very cursory clean. But I thought I'd tell you about the books I'm currently reading as well, because I've been listening to this audiobook. It's so bad. It's this book, a novel love story. I thought that this was gonna be so cute. She has the worst fucking personality. Like, she is so annoying and cringy and she's really mean. I just, at one point, this is early on, like 15% in, she fully slaps this guy across the face for him. Like, he was like a little bit rude. She like assaults him and then she's like, oh, that was probably too far. I should probably apologize, but I just won't. That's like her attitude the entire time. She's just like got the worst personality, and unfortunately he has zero personality. And I don't like the writing, like how many times she talks about his minty eyes, like he's got mint eyes because they're like pale green. I don't know, I just, it's really, really bad. I'm hating it. I officially have Manacled downloaded on my Kindle, so I'm excited. I was just flicking through then, and I actually remember loads. I think it maybe wasn't that long ago that I read this, because I remember I was flicking through the first chapter and I remembered everything. So basically, if you don't know anything about Manacled, it's actually a fan fiction of the Harry Potter series. And I have a very complicated relationship with the Harry Potter books. I did love them as a child. I will never now promote them because of J.K. Rowling. I just think she's the most heinous person in the fucking universe. The hateful things that she is spewing, I just could never ever support her in any way. And I don't support her. But Manacled has become a book within its own. It's like, it's an alternative ending to Harry Potter. So although it has characters of Harry Potter, it's like wildly different in terms of plot and tone. It's incredibly dark. Already, I remember the first 2 chapters being very, very dark. It's kind of the Harry Potter characters, but as if the ending, as if they're kind of lost at the end of the books. But they're in the world of like Handmaid's Tale. So you can imagine, like, it's dark. So I don't know where it's gonna go from there. Apparently lots of people say it kind of leaves off the Handmaid's Tale style bit, like as you go through. The first chapters that I remember were very Handmaid's Tale. And I liked the books, but I didn't love the books of Handmaid's Tale. And I didn't really love the TV show. So I'm not sure how it's gonna go for me. Also, I've not read a Harry Potter fan fiction since I was about 14, so we're gonna see how that goes. I also have complicated feelings about Harry Potter in general, so this is gonna be a fun vlog. And I've just done a poll up on my Instagram actually to see if people think that I should do spoilers in this vlog or not, so I'm gonna wait a little bit and see how that poll kind of shakes out, because I think it would be fun to do full spoilers and just like tell you my thoughts as they're happening, because I feel like lots of people watching this will have read the book, because it's incredibly popular. But some people might not have read it and just want my, reactions without spoiling any plot points, which I also understand. So for future reference, please tell me in the comments below what you prefer for vlogs. I usually do no spoilers, but some people do like when it's just dedicated to one book in a vlog, a detailed kind of full, so then I can go on full rants if I want to rant about it at all. Before I clean, I'm doing some yoga with my girl. Wish me luck. I'm tired today. I've finished cleaning. I've done my yoga. I have watered all my plants around, which feels good. There was one that was dead, so I was just not wanting to water them because I didn't want to deal with the fact that one was dead. I finished that audiobook, hated it. Also, I've just been reading Manacled. I've come downstairs because that sun was annoying me, and also I need to eat some food. Yeah, so I am up to chapter 4 of Manacled so far. I think it is very dark. It's very easy read, it's very engaging, so I'm just reading it quickly. Also, I've read these chapters before. I can't remember where I got up to, so I am reading them fast because I've read them before and I know what's going to happen. Basically, you are following the perspective of Hermione as she is having to contend with the fact that everybody, the good side, lost the war, and now they are living in this Handmaid's Tale type world, and she is basically being forced to be the companion, what do they call it in the book? I don't know, slave, I guess, of one of the pure blood families. Because she is a very magical person, she is going to be put into a breeding program. Like I said, these books are dark. One thing I will say though, although the subject matter is very dark, the writing style is very blunt. It's not mincing any words, and for me, that makes it less dark and less shocking because it's it's not suggestive of anything. It's quite in your face, and it's the sentences themselves are very bluntly written, and the dialogue especially is incredibly straightforward. So although it's a quick read and it's an engaging read, I'm not saying so far that I'm overly impressed with the writing style. Also, like I said, Handmaid's Tale, not my kind of thing, but I'm very early on. I'm only on chapter 4, so we're going to see how that develops. And I do feel because this is fan fiction, the writing style also will probably develop as well as I go through the book. And I'm absolutely fine with that, with giving it time. So we will continue to read and see what's going to happen. I think I'm pretty close to our second main character being introduced, which, if you don't know, is Draco Malfoy. You should know that already going in, that it's a Dramione fanfic. So we are coming up to the point where Hermione's going to meet Draco for the first time, I think, and we're going to see what happens. I'm now having a very late lunch of some yogurt and berries and chia pudding vibe, and I'm going to read a little bit more while I'm eating. Okay, I'm just wrapping up the work day now, and I did do a bit of reading while I was eating. I'm now up to chapter 8. It's good. I am engaged, I will keep reading. Also, I'm enjoying the central mystery. Basically, I didn't mention this before, part of the big mystery that's going on is that Hermione has somehow locked away parts of her memory. She has intentionally forgotten something, and that's another reason, as well as her being a very magical person, is that's why they're so interested in her specifically, and why she's been given to Draco to look out for her, because they want to know what it is that is so important that she is still hiding even after the war's been lost. I'm intrigued by that. I think that's written well. I'm getting tiny little, not even clues, but little tiny hints of what it could be. Not even hints, but you know what I mean. I'm intrigued by that mystery. That's very fun. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to see this as a romance. It is, horrific. And I don't understand how we're going to get any kind of... Is it going to be a Draco redemption? Is that what it's going to be? I don't know, maybe my heart is too hard to, do redemption stories. I'm, very unforgiving person, perhaps, but I'm not sure about being so heavily invested in, this type of redemption. We'll see how it goes. I'm intrigued enough, definitely, in the mystery and how that's happening to continue reading. And like I said, it's reading really fast. I'm already on chapter 8. This is day 1 of reading it. Obviously, I'm reading it very quickly because up until now I've already read these chapters, but I think now we're getting to the point where I haven't read them yet. So this will all be very brand new material to me, and I'll be shocked and reacting accordingly. Also, the results of the poll on Instagram were overwhelmingly in favour of doing spoilers, so that's why I'm giving you more info on the plot. I'm gonna be doing everything. It's exciting. Also, go follow me on Instagram if you want to. I've been thinking of doing like a Q&A video. Is anyone interested in that? Is anyone, I don't know, do you have any questions about me? Are you curious about me? But I feel like I don't have enough like people who would ask me questions if I don't know, like I don't know, maybe I'll do a Q&A. But if I did do a Q&A, I'd ask the questions over on my Instagram, so you can go and follow my Instagram if you like, but you don't have to because it's up to you. I am now on my way to the book launch, although actually I'm on my way to do a tiny bit of shopping first. Not really shopping, but trying things on. I really need to find a black skirt, so I'm gonna go and do that first and then go to the book launch. So come along. Going in there. Over here. In Zara, looking for a black skirt, having no luck. I really want a fun drink to end the night, so I'm trying to find one. This could be fun. I'm obsessed with these. They're so cute. What do they taste like? Peach flavour soda. There's a fire alarm in it to evacuate before I got my drink. I'm so sad. Also, I hope it's just an alarm and nothing's actually going on. Unknown. It's just I don't know what's happening. She's desperately eating her own tail. Hi, crazy. Morning, everyone. It's the next day. I'm out on my walk and I wanted to show you how misty and moody it looks today. Look at this, such autumnal vibes. I am also further along in Manacled and devastated to realise that my name does appear in the book, because the healer Stroud, one of the most evil people in the book, is called Lydia, which is devastating. Sorry, I keep having to wait until no one's around to vlog because it's embarrassing. I didn't get much footage of the book launch last night because social anxiety won. I ended up just looking at the books and not really joining in. Also got too carried away with the shopping and I didn't get many clips of that either. So sorry about that. Look at these little duckies. Oh, aren't they cute? Hi, duckies. How perfect do they look? You see my Instagram stories, that is often where I see the turtle as well, who only comes out on sunny days. Or the family of turtles. I'm not sure if they all survived the cold weather, but when they are there, they come out on sunny days, which is so cute. In terms of the book, and oh my god, this is so vibey. Thumbnail. In terms of the book, I'm now, like I said, into the bits I haven't read before. I think I'm on chapter 12. A fun surprise that I didn't realise was going to be the case is that there's pictures. I love them. I honestly don't know where the book is going to go, though. Like, especially if we keep with this Handmaid's Tale vibe. It's like, how is it 1,000 pages? Do you know what I mean? I really don't understand where the depth of the story is going to come from. I'm still intrigued, but I'm not obsessed, I have to say. I'm not obsessed with it yet. It's like still a very like quick read though. It's engaging in its way, but yeah, like liking, not loving. It's a bit too starkly brutal for me, but not brutal in a way that actually really hits you with its words. It's kind of just brutal in the way that it's like just like very abrupt almost. I don't know, hard to explain. So yeah, but I'll read some more today. and see how we go. But I just wanted to share this beautiful misty morning with you. Home now, and this little wiggle bum is curled up on my arms. You can say hi to the vlog. She's having a bath. I'm just about to start doing some work, and I'm uploading a video, and it feels very scary to upload this one. It's about the book that I'm writing, and it feels very vulnerable, so I'm kind of nervous about it, but I gotta get it up. So I'm gonna upload that and do a bit of work, and then I'll update you how my day unfolds. Look at this girl. Oh my god, she's my angel. Hello, we are at the end of the workday. I am starving hungry, so I'm gonna have a very early dinner. Just thought I'd update you with Manacled. I'm up to chapter 13, and we just, in the last chapter, met Voldemort. Honestly, not that scary. I thought it'd be, I don't know, I think because there's just no, like, ups and downs with the tension or anything. Everything is quite tense, meaning things that should feel like a big deal are not. It's just like, oh yeah, Voldemort's there, like he's in his little cave being evil. But everyone is so evil all the time, and like the worst possible thing that could happen to Hermione is already consistently happening every single day. So it's like, where can you go from there? I don't have emotional ups and downs, you know what I mean? So, but I'm still interested. I'm still reading it. I'm criticizing it, but not in a way that like is gonna make me stop reading it. It's still very engaging. It's very simply written, and I still am interested to see where it goes. While I'm in here, shall I show you my situation? You can tell me which wallpaper you like. Right, we have a lot going on. Paint colours, wallpapers. This bed is obviously staying. Oh, it's a bit foggy, hold on. There's also not much light in here now. Decide your favourite situation first, and then I'll tell you my favourite. You decided? My favourite is this one. I like how saturated it is. I think it goes the best with the vibe that I'm trying to create. This one I feel is too green, and this one is too muddy. I like the pattern of this one, but something about it is too like purpley and too muddy. But this is my favourite, but of course this one is the most expensive by far, so. Anyway, I'm gonna make some dinner now, and I will be reading a lot more of it tonight. I've got the book on my Kindle actually as like part 1 out of 3 parts. So I don't know how far through the entire thing I am other than the chapter, but I know that I am halfway through, or I'm about to be halfway through part 1, and there's 3 parts. Okay, I've just been reading a bit more, and I've got my first theory. We've just been introduced to Montague, I think his name is, who is a Slytherin at Hogwarts, but we don't know anything else really about him. I reckon he basically stormed into Hermione and was like, you don't remember me? And then he looked like happy about something. And she was really scared. But I think the reason is that he actually was helping her. In her memories, she was one of the people who wanted to like use some of the darker magic to like try and win the war. So I think that she was working with this guy, this random Slytherin, and he like maybe defected, or he was a double agent or something, and she was working with him to do stuff to do with the dark magic to try and win the war. That obviously didn't work or didn't go well, but he seems to be like happy that she doesn't remember him because he's a double agent, I think. That's my first theory. One thing I'm not sure I like, okay, is basically like I can see the threads of the romance and where it's going to come, and I just don't like it. For example, she says stuff like, I can't even believe that I was considering that he was thinking about like my comfort, or like that he was being even a slightly bit considerate. Like, I can't believe I was thinking that. It's like, yeah, me neither. Like, he literally has you enslaved, and that is like he is literally torturing you. Obviously, you shouldn't be thinking he's being considerate. And there was just now a line where Hermione says to him, because he had to marry someone that he didn't particularly like, you sound as enslaved as I am, says Hermione. And he like quirks his lip at her and is like, ugh. I'm like, oh, what? Are we equating anything like that? No, I hate it. I don't like it. Just having a little hot chocolate, doing a bit more reading. I think I was wrong about that guy being a double agent, because already Hermione thought the same. And so that makes me think I was wrong, and it's too simple. We've had another meeting with Voldy, big old Voldemort. He's kind of creepy. It's interesting. So we are going for like the Horcrux thing. Umbridge just died. That's the first good thing that's ever happened in this book. And I'm a way in. It's the first good thing that's happened. and the locket that she's wearing, which we know is a Horcrux, has been destroyed. So there's either another member of the Order out there somewhere, or it's an inside job, and I'm like to think it's an inside job. So we'll see how it goes. Still hating the idea that there's going to be a romance in this, to be honest. Still hating that. Dark romance is not for everyone. That's what I'm realising. But we persist. Okay, I'm not sure. She's just figured out Horcruxes. While she was laid up in bed in agony for 2 days, and she just thought about it. And she just like figured out the whole entire Horcrux thing. I would have preferred, if that's gonna be something she's figuring out, for her to figure it out in a clever way, other than just she thought about it. It's like, yeah, I get that she's like older and she's got a lot more experience than like in the original books when they're figuring it out, you know, they're just kids. But still, it's a good reveal, and like, it was just, you know, oh, I just thought about it, I've just figured it out. I mean, it's interesting, the fact that Voldemort is dying. That's like that's the kind of new bit of information we have. Voldemort's dying. He can't continue this war across Europe because he is like, you know, weak now. And he is like distracting people by using this like repopulation effort. That's a fun twist. I'm down with that. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's a whole lot of nothing, and then suddenly something really horrific happens. She's just encountering, what's his name? Montague. Well, he's encountering her, and it's horrible. Really horrible. So I'm just taking a break. Just gonna take a little break. It's not for me. Also, she's like so worried about Malfoy. She's like, oh, he's being tortured every day by Voldemort. Oh, hope he's okay. You know, I'm a healer, so I'm worried about him being tortured every day. He's torturing you every day. You are literally a slave. And worse. Anyway, it's not good. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm going to read a bit more tonight, but then I'll update you tomorrow, basically, with where I get up to. Sorry, I know I said I'm going to bed, but he pulled his organs just out of his body. I mean, well deserved, but still. Also, I don't like the hurt comfort scene thing. You know? Like, I don't feel anything for Malfoy. He's just the worst. I don't feel any inch of any other feeling other than hatred. So none of these like hurt comfort feelings, or like her realization that, you know, she's got it easy with being with him compared to the other girls, like none of that matters to me. You know what I mean? Like, no. I was gonna try and go to bed, but she's having her eye pulled out. Oh my god. It's so fucking dark. She's literally having her eye pulled out, and I can feel it in my own eye. Okay, I'm ending for the day. I'm going to bed, and I'm gonna read something nice and sweet and calming and happy before I go to bed. Good morning. I am late, and I'm also vlogging something else this morning, but I literally had to update on last night. Basically, I finished part 1, and I couldn't sleep. I literally couldn't sleep after. It just kept me up. Not even because I was like that disturbed. Maybe it was because I was disturbed, but yeah, I literally couldn't get to sleep after finishing reading last night. So I don't think I'm actually a third of the way through, because I'm not sure how they have like done the parts. I don't think they're equally split. Oh my god, I've got dry skin everywhere. Got to part 3. If you know what's happening, she's pregnant. That wasn't ideal. So Hermione is now pregnant, and basically it's bringing back some memories as well. And I think actually what's going to happen now is like most of them are going to be unlocked, which is good because I'm interested in that. But also I'm like not as interested because I feel it's cool. Like, I think I know what's going to happen is that the memories are protecting Draco, and that actually those two, like, he was on her side, and that's how she like learnt the dark arts and stuff. and he's been a double agent, and then she kind of gave herself this brain damage to protect him when she got caught so that he could still like continue his work kind of thing. Like, I think similar to what's happened with Snape. I think he's probably the same, and like they're on the same side, and Snape is actually a good guy still, even though in this story like he never kind of had his redemption basically. So that's what I think is going to happen, and I think the reason he's being so cruel is because of the mind reading thing, and that he doesn't want anyone to see like anything in her memories like when they read her mind. But does not excuse in any way the psychological and physical torture he has been putting her through. In my eyes, it doesn't anyway, but right, I'm gonna read some more today and I will update you later with how it's going, but we're officially into part 2, which is the longest part. Good morning, everyone. I didn't really vlog in the end yesterday because I got so busy and I was actually doing a separate vlog all of yesterday. So that'll probably already be up on my channel. You can go and watch that if you're interested, but I didn't really get to do much reading and I can't vlog 2 different things in the same day, if you know what I mean. But I am back today with this vlog. It's Sunday. Gonna go and meet my friend Alice, who's a friend of the channel, often on this channel. We're gonna do a little bit of a productivity session, but we're gonna be doing it in foils. So obviously we're gonna be looking at the books a little bit as well. Before that though, let me give you a little reading update. So I am up to, like I said, I'm on part 2. And it's just so far a sequence of flashbacks. I didn't read that much last night or this morning, but it's like, I'm on like chapter 3 of part 2. So I'm not sure what number chapter that is in the normal, when it's all in one book, but it's just kind of flashback after flashback. And I'm not that interested in the flashbacks, I won't lie. A lot of them are like, I don't know. This is why I don't read fan fiction, because a lot of it relies on you like liking the characters already. They don't actually develop the characters in any way in the fan fiction because they're already characters that you know, if you get what I mean. So these flashbacks aren't doing much for me. And also I've noticed like a lot of it is very, very repetitive. It's like almost whole sentences are lifted from other parts where she's remembering stuff, and it's just like the exact same sentences are said again, which I am quite sensitive to repetition, so I'm not quite enjoying that. I hope that the flashbacks end soon. I think there's going to be probably loads, but I'm not that interested in them, or at least I hope they get a bit more interesting lately. I'm still solid on my theory, and it's becoming more and more clear that I was right, that Draco is like, he was a double agent and her memories are suppressed purely to protect him. Oh yeah, because that's the thing, it was like he had said to Snape that he would like turn and be on the other side if he could get Hermione, and I'm like, ew. Like, I thought the flashbacks were going to be more like him revealing that he's actually like a soft boy and like is like kind of honourable in some way, but so far no, he's still just like a villain, which is, you know, great. I don't know, maybe just dark romances with these like types of characters are not for me. I like a morally grey character, but they have to have something redeemable. So far there is absolutely nothing redeemable about Malfoy. I'm enjoying Hermione's like journey towards like realizing, you know, that like just to be good you can't only like be like non-violent and like you have to attack like fire with fire and stuff. That's all really interesting, and I think that's like a fun character arc for her to be on. But anyway, not loving the direction it's taking, but we will persist. I'm not sure when I'll get to halfway. I might go back and like try and find a copy where they're all in one so that I can tell you how much percentage I am through. So anyway, let's go to foils. Hi guys, it is now Monday. I wasn't very good at vlogging this weekend, or I actually can't remember if I vlogged much. I had a great time. I had a lovely, very bookish weekend, but it is Monday, it is cold, and I need to update you on what I've been reading, or I need to update you with how I'm going with Manacled. To be honest, I've significantly slowed down. I read the first third-ish relatively quickly. As I said, I'm up to the flashback sequences, and I'm realizing now, I saw like the contents page, that it is just constant flashbacks. There is 38 flashbacks, and they're just in a row, and I am on flashback number 5, and I'm already bored. I'm sorry to say it, I'm already bored of the flashbacks. I can already see where they're gonna go, I think, and I don't like the characters. They're not Draco and Hermione, so they've moved so far away from the original Draco and Hermione. He is not a pompous, like, spoiled rich boy who's jealous of her, and she is not an incredibly capable, competent, and like very morally strong-willed character. She's been stripped down to almost nothing, and he has been blown up to like the most powerful person in the world. And I get why, it's to create this dynamic, but I don't read romances for this dynamic. I do not like when women characters are basically nothing. It's not that there's horrible things happening, because I read dark books and that have really, really dark themes. It's not that I'm having the issue with, it's kind of a lot of the other stuff. Also, the repetition is really grinding on me, and I'm slightly worried that it's going to get worse throughout these flashbacks, because already it's been pretty bad, and I'm only on flashback 5, and I have to get up to flashback 38 before we get back up into like the current timeline, the main story. I'm a bit worried, to be honest. I'm not loving it. There's parts where I'm like, yeah, it's like very readable. I already know I'm probably not going to rate this very highly. I did kind of look up some stuff to like help me through it, and I was like, when do people like get really, really into this? Like, what chapter is it? And some people were saying like chapter 30, and some people were saying like chapter 50, which would be within the flashback sequence. I think that would be like flashback like around the early teens for 30. But like, I'm almost up to chapter 30, because yeah, I'm actually up to chapter 30 now. And do I want to read 20 more chapters to like test if I get into it? I don't know, I'm just kind of regretting this. I'm glad I'm reading it just for like, for the culture. I feel like I need to know what this book is like and it is about to be able to talk about, but I'm not enjoying it yet. What I'm going to try and do is just like knuckle down, and I'm going to like just try and read a big chunk of it. And I'm not going to update you unless I have considerably different thoughts or like a big reaction to something happening. I'm just going to like chug along and try and read as much of it as I can. And then I will update you as soon as I have like anything different, whether that's I'm liking it more or I'm liking it less. I will update you at that point. Or if anything really crazy happens. But so far, not much. It's kind of exactly as I suspected. I really don't like this dynamic of him like choosing her as like a prize in the war. I don't know, it's just really weird, and I'm like, okay, well, I thought these flashbacks were going to be like redeeming him as a character, and it's just like making him worse. Anyway, I'm gonna say something controversial. This book, it's not a book, it's a fan fiction. Firstly, you can really tell that this was written chapter by chapter because of the insane amount of repetition, and that's why it is so long, because nothing really happens. It's the same exact thing that happens in every single chapter. Barely moves the plot along at all. Basically, all of these flashbacks are the exact same. It's Hermione starting up a romance with Draco and him being like a spy. That's it. The second thing, the more controversial thing, I don't even think it's a good fan fiction. Sorry, but I think a good fan fiction doesn't destroy the characters that it's writing about. It writes them in different like scenes and unique situations, but it doesn't completely change them and who they are. And in this, even other people are saying to Hermione, you're a completely different person now than you used to be at school. You used to be like this, and this, and now you're so ruthless and you're so quiet. And it's kind of used as an excuse that she just like has a different personality now as a different person. So she's not really Hermione from the books at all. And also everyone around her has different personalities. Mad-Eye Moody and Kingsley
They are like actually just like fully on board to whore her out to Malfoy with like absolutely like saying nothing. They're just like really keen to just like whore her out. And also everyone around her, but especially Ron and Harry, are just horrible people. And they don't like her anymore. Like, they're not even friends in this fan fiction. Like, they're not friends anymore because Hermione's a healer now. And also they're just like really mean to her all the time. And everyone like fighting on the side of the light, who like doesn't ever want to use dark magic and stuff, is like really, really naive in like a really simple, basic way. It's not like this like complicated moral dilemma of like, sometimes you need to fight fire against fire. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of darkness to like win. It's like, no, the light is good and everything else is evil and I will not be evil. You know, and that's just that, like the most basic level over and over and over again. And even the dark side is not much more complicated. Since I updated you last, I'm up to, what chapter am I up to now? I'm on flashback 21 now. It's Christmas Day. There's been no update in the plot at all. Like it's exactly the same. So I'm getting bored. Let's keep going. Hi guys, I have not been vlogging because I haven't read much of Manacled since my last update. I'm like 10% into the last third. So we're like back out of the flashbacks now, but I don't have much of an update. But I'm going to be reading a lot more tonight. Currently though, I am sitting here and watching Bake Off. I'm catching up. I haven't watched any Bake Off yet. And I'm going to be eating some of these fondant fancies because you have to have a sweet treat while you're watching Bake Off. But I'm going to do some more reading tonight and then I will actually give you a proper update on my thoughts and feelings because I feel like the book is going to be quite quickly coming to a close. I think we're going to get quite a lot of action and quite a lot of conclusion. And I'm hoping I'm going to be enjoying it more because of that. So I'll let you know. What colour fondant fancy do you go for? I go for pink. I read quite a lot of the book last night and some more this morning. I am not enjoying it. It's not very well written. And the main issue for me, and I think the reason why people love it is because of these characters. They're not the characters. And also, like, even if it wasn't like Hermione from the books, if it was a different Hermione and it was a good character, I could forgive that. But this Hermione is nothing and no one. Or, like, it just is one of the, like, most annoying things for me in any book, in any movie, any TV show, when all the women say is, what do we do now? To the male characters. But what do we do now? What about this? What do you think? And that's all she does. And I know that she's traumatized and I get that, but we've had a whole book of her being a main character but having done nothing. Like, she did a bit in the flashback scenes, but like since then she's absolutely done nothing. And especially in this final bit, like now that she's got all her memories back and she like knows she's in love with him and they're trying to plan this escape, she's doing nothing. And also I don't like their romance because he'll just often go, oh okay, I'm just putting you in your room back in your cage and then I'm just going to disappear off for 3 days. And like she doesn't know when he's coming back, she doesn't know anything about it, she doesn't even ask, she doesn't even like say anything, and it's just annoying me. Basically they're just basically planning their escape now. It sounds like a terrible plan. Why did it take so long to come up with this terrible plan? I'm not sure. They're just going to cut his arm off and then like heal it. And I don't know, like it just, we're going to see what happens. And then she's going to go and escape and like find Ginny and live with her. We'll see what's happening. I'm not that interested, to be honest. I think I'll probably just finish the rest of this today. But I will give you my reaction to the ending. I just got to the end. That was the end? That was like the most... I can't believe that was the end. I've still got the epilogue left, but technically that's the end, the written end. What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense that would be the end. They can just live happily ever after on this island together with Ginny. Where's the pain? Where's the heartache? Why are people crying over this? It has not even moved me to any sense of discomfort, let alone tears. Oh, hi. She's just jumped up. She's been sleeping all day, I think. She's got stuff in her tail. I can't believe that is the end, honestly. I'm going to read the epilogue. It can't save itself from now. This is like a 1 or a 2 star from me. It's not good. I'm so sorry. Just finished the epilogues too. Happy ending. What are people crying about with this book? It has like a very happy ending. Everything's fine. Also, we just forget like what Draco has actually done.
like that he actually is genuinely so evil. And wouldn't you think that that would have some consequences for him living this quiet life that he lives with Hermione at the end of the book? And then it went on to like talking about their children, and I just didn't care. I didn't care about the next generation at all. Like, who are they to me, you know? I don't, yeah. Overall, I'm shocked at what it ended up being. It ended up being like pretty sentimental and like very, I don't know, like I thought it was going to be like ravaging me emotionally and just like all these ups and downs and like, oh, they're finally okay, and then like they die, you know, or like something irreversibly terrible happens. But like there was some mortal danger, but at no point was anyone in like danger near the end. Like they were just like fine, like everything worked out like exactly how it was supposed to, like for most of the third part. Like yes, Draco lost his arm, but then he gets a perfectly good like prosthesis that works really well, and like he manages to escape and like nothing bad happens. The most like horrifying bit of this book is the very, very, very beginning, when Hermione has been trapped in the dark for a long time and she comes out and she gets pushed into this breeding program. That's the worst bit in terms of like darkness. And then it's just fine because very quickly you realise she's not in any actual danger and that Draco's in love with her. Like, you know? And then they just like make moony eyes at each other and tell each other they love each other for most of the book. So, I don't know. I did not get much out of this. This might be a 1 star for me because it wasn't even well written. And it was so long. Like that was just, it's purely the reason why it took me so long to, it didn't even take me long to read because it's just very simply written, but not for me. I'm so sorry. Not for me.
Okay, it's been a while since I've filmed that last clip where I finished Manacled, and I've had time to process my feelings, and so I wanted to just do this clip to wrap up this vlog and give you my final thoughts. As you can tell from the vlog, it was not for me. I also don't think it's that good for anyone. I'm so sorry because I know that this is so well beloved, but I do just think there are so many other stories that will give you what you're seeking when you're looking for a story like this. If it's for a dark romance, if it's for a devastating story, if it's a fan fiction with your favourite characters, I honestly can't recommend Manacled for anyone. The premise itself, there's nothing super wrong with it, but it's also not very original. If you wrote down the plot beats of what happened in the story, including the flashbacks, you would not really have enough for like a 300-page story, let alone 1,000+, because the story itself is essentially Hermione, who feels as if the good guys aren't doing all that they can to win this war. She makes sacrifices to then be used by the dark side in order to get key information that somehow doesn't actually help anything, and they still lose the war. In the meantime, she has somehow fallen in love with this very evil person and manages to trap her memories. And the fact of these trapped memories, despite the fact that the good guys lost the war, are so interesting enough to keep her alive throughout this horrible breeding program repopulation effort that she is then put with the man that she loves, but she doesn't remember him, so to her all of the torture and the trauma is all very real and happening in real time. And also all of his plans in order to get her out of there or help her basically come to nothing, and they have to wait until she is in the worst possible state and pregnant in order for them to just basically do the most basic plan and then eventually escape. And then it's kind of a happy ending at the end. I had lots of issues with the writing style and also just the writing itself. The writing itself was incredibly repetitive, also because you're dealing with flashbacks, but often there was entire paragraphs that were repeated, not even just twice, they were repeated sometimes 3 times. And then the writing style itself was incredibly blunt. And I've said that a few times, but I want to explain more what I mean. I think that a lot of what is scary and tense and emotional within stories is the kind of things that are left unsaid. It's when you as a reader are inferring what's going on, or you're sitting with the emotions of what's happening rather than just reading sentences of horrific things happening. It's not going to be as emotionally devastating to read a very blunt account of what happened to someone in a war. But if the same account is filled with gaps of not knowing what's going on, of you having to fill in the gaps of information, of this heartbreak and longing of knowing of what's happening to people staying at home, you know what I mean? Like there's so many more ways to make the writing emotional. And even though these traumatic and devastating things were technically happening, me as the reader was not feeling any of that because it was just so bluntly written. My other main issue is with the characters. Like I said, I don't think that this is actually a good fan fiction because it doesn't doesn't actually use the characters from the original stories. Hermione is a flawed character, but she is a very strong force of personality. And one of the things people love about the main books so much is that Harry, Ron and Hermione are there for each other and love each other no matter what, and they will see anything through to the end together. That was completely stripped from this story, and Harry and Ron were best friends without her. Also, Draco Malfoy, who is quite an interesting character in the main books and kind of gets his own slight redemption as this pompous rich boy who's grown up in an incredibly cruel environment and then goes to a school expecting to be the head boy and the top of everything and is beaten at every turn by these people he's been taught to think of as lesser. That character was also destroyed. He was a completely different person. He was also blown up so much in terms of the amount of power he had magically and also just in the world to make anyone around him seem even less powerful, but especially Hermione. She was stripped of every single thing that could make her character have any type of agency or any power at all, and she was just literally at the whim of anything else that was happening in the story, but especially of Malfoy's character. And I just think it's a very cheap way of creating that dynamic between like a very powerful evil man and a very weak but morally good woman, and then to have that romance happen between them only after you've established this huge gulf of power and control between them. I don't know, I just didn't like it, and I don't think it was interesting. That's what it really comes down to. I wasn't shocked by any of the twists. I obviously guessed quite early on what was going to happen with the memories, so then every flashback sequence was basically the same and only drove home more the fact that Hermione was not the original Hermione, and even this new character of Hermione didn't really have any agency of herself, and also all of the other characters around her just consistently kind of like let her down and let themselves down. And then I really thought in the third part that we would get some like action sequences, some crazy stuff happening, some final twists and turns that would really make me reconsider the whole thing, and that just absolutely didn't happen. The plan went off basically without a hitch. They lived happily ever after. So I'm just confused about why people cry about this book. Usually when I read things that aren't specifically written like for me, I can still understand why other people would like them, or I can understand the points of interest. Honestly, with this book, I can't. But if you are watching this and you're upset by the fact that I didn't like it, or you think that I didn't understand it, then just remember that reading is so individual and so personal, and I'm not saying that you can't enjoy something because I didn't like it. Everybody has their own taste, everybody has their own reactions to books. This is mine, which is why I'm sharing it, because I do think it's interesting. But obviously you're so entitled to having your own opinion about this book. But that is where I'm going to end this video. I would love comments on this video about if you read this book or what you thought, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you managed to get to the end and you didn't like it like me, what was your thoughts on the ending? Do you think you'll ever read this book now if you haven't read it? And thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and go and like and watch all of my other videos, and I will see you again soon. Bye!